talked for a whole week, so we had to gossip or before, which basically was me saying, "I'm playing a new video game now. You need to play this game." So
I can't wait. I'm so
I'm playing
excited.
a roller coaster building game that is the dumbest thing. It is like I feel like a rat like pressing a bar for a pellet because that's basically all this game is.
Oh, that's the exact kind of challenge I need, Something
Do this to
really,
build
really
the get
easy.
the money to build the roller coaster. Okay, bing, 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 bing. Just pressing buttons. No skill involved. Just all it is just waiting for your money to come in and watching ads or then turning off the ads, paying them to turn off the ads or whatever. But anyway, if you all want to know, it's called Real Coaster. And look at, they're already harassing me.
Oh my
Real
gosh.
Coaster. Come and get your rewards and features are waiting for you. It's like it's definitely a rat hitting a pellet bar, that game. But that's not what we're here for. This is not a video game stream by any means. This is very analog. We are doing tarot readings with real live physical tarot cards, nothing digital except for the stream. It's called Tarot for Kindness. We do tarot readings by donation. The donation is $10 per card. So if you want a 1-card reading to get a little check-in on something or just want to make a donation, you can get a 1-card reading for 10, 2-card for 20, 3-card for 30, 4-card for 40, and so on and so forth. You can go as high as you want to go. Make a donation as big as you want. Those donations do not go to us. They go through us to Sobotin Harbor. Sobotin Harbor are our partners in Kyiv, Ukraine, who buy groceries for seniors in Ukraine and distribute those groceries. These seniors are, many of them are disabled, can't get out of their apartments. They're under bombing. They have no electricity. I mean, there's so many issues that they are facing. Imagine, it's hard enough to be facing this, alarms and bombs and everything for the past 2 years plus. Now you can imagine doing that without being able to have mobility or without being able to earn a living, to make money, to support yourself. You've got a tiny pension like Social Security, basically, very, very small, doesn't really meet all your needs. You have to buy medicine, you have to buy food, you might have to buy things like Depends or other supplies that you might need for your, just to be for your disabled loved one or for yourself. How do you get those things? You depend on, people around you. And Sobotin Harbor, no strings attached, just deliver groceries, bring these seniors company, check in on them, which is also very good. And it's all grassroots. So 100% of your donation is going directly to support these seniors in Ukraine. And so we are so grateful to you guys for making those donations. So you can donate any amount and in any number multiplicable by 10, I guess. So you can make 10, 20, 30, 40, as I mentioned before. We've done 10-card readings. We can do more if you want to donate more. But 100% of your proceeds are going to help these seniors in Ukraine who desperately, desperately need our help. So let's see, what else do I have to say about that? It's humanitarian aid. It's wonderful. Oh, we also have another little side quest for you guys. These seniors also need light because the electricity, Russia, if you guys are not watching the news, and you might not be watching the news, because I don't blame you, the news sucks right now. If you're not watching the news, Russia is bombing infrastructure. They bomb hospitals. They bomb electrical plants. They bomb the things that are helping the average person. They're destroying the things, not only lives and killing people, bombing children's hospitals. I mean, it's like unbelievable. And they know what they're bombing. It's not like they're just going, oh, let's just bomb and let's see what happens. They're targeting these places. So they're targeting hospitals so that people that are injured don't have a place to get healed. They're targeting civilian homes, apartment buildings. They're targeting these the infrastructure things like water, dams, electricity, and so on, so that there's no infrastructure. They're just destroying innocent civilian lives, not like nothing we have seen, in so many years. So If you think that this is wrong and if you want to help the people with humanitarian aid, this is the way to do it. Now, so because there is no light, sometimes there's no light for 24 hours, sometimes longer. Maybe they'll get a light for a couple hours, electricity, I mean, for a couple hours and then off. The seniors don't have light in their homes, so they can't get around at night. And now the days are getting shorter. Imagine being in a dark home. How do you cook your dinner? How do you get to the bathroom? They don't have the things necessary. So Subotin Harbor is starting another little side quest, side fundraiser. And I think we're almost finished. We're going to be finished at the end of September. But what we're doing is when you buy an on-demand workshop that costs $25, we are going to donate $13 of those $25 to buy a light for these seniors in Ukraine. So the video on demand classes you can take at your own pace and you can start them whenever you want. So go ahead and you can click on that link, or you can go to academyofthemagicalarts.com or go to witchcraftworkshops.com and you can find the classes there. You can order those classes and then we will donate the money. Do you know how many we've gotten since last week, or did you check that, or you didn't have a chance to?
Yeah, since last Sunday, we've sold 5 classes.
Wonderful, wonderful. So that's 5 more seniors that are going to get lights, and we're so grateful for that. We're going to be doing this for the next today and tomorrow. So tomorrow's the last day for this. So make sure that you buy those classes. Class price doesn't change. It's $25 now. It's going to be $25 in October. But the only difference is that in September, tomorrow, we'll be able to donate that money to the seniors in Ukraine to get them lights. So that's that. Now, what we do here is we do tarot readings, as I mentioned, $10 per card. I do a tarot reading. You can donate through PayPal, you can donate through Venmo, or you can donate through Super Chat below. After I do my tarot reading, the Love Witch does a little something. So what are you going to do? What's your little bonus? Love Witch gives a bonus.
I'm going to pull a tarot card this week too. I have this new deck.
You are?
It's really cool. It's called the Jupiter King Tarot. It's a deck from Japan that was printed in the 80s and then went out of print. And this company, Tarot Collectibles, has reissued it with permission from like the artist's son. So yeah, I've been having so much fun with it. I've been working with it all week. And it's pretty close to the traditional Rider-Waite deck, but just like a little bit different. And I've been noticing all sorts of fun new things. Then I'm like, oh wait, that's in the original card too, but I'm seeing them with fresh eyes. So.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, like in the 80s. So I think US Games bought I know US Games owns the right to the Rider-Waite. Mm-hmm. But Weiser also had the rights to it on some level. Like they made the Weiser Tarot. And I think that, there's other variations on the deck, but in the 80s it was kind of like, how can we have a Rider-Waite deck or publish a Rider-Waite deck and avoid the copyright issue? Mm-hmm. Well, you make a deck that you're drawing it instead. So that's an interesting one. So it is very Rider-Waite, but like you said, you get to see certain things when you see the different drawing techniques. It's kind of interesting, huh? So I want to remind everyone, speaking of tarot, that our beginning tarot class that I offer, it's a live workshop series, a 5-week-long series. Beginning tarot starts next week on October 6th. And so if you are interested in learning tarot, go to losangelestarotreader.com and you can find it right there. The classes are starting soon, or you can go to this link right here. Classes start October 6th. You can go to Los Angeles Tarot. Am I here? Am I here?
I think you're back now.
Am I back now?
You're here.
Okay.
You're here for me.
Am I showing up on YouTube? I don't know. I'm out in the kind of hinterlands of my house, and sometimes the internet gets a little. I'm back. Am I back?
I think you're back. Yeah. Sorry. Seems like it.
I know it says there's a notice that comes up. It says I got disconnected. So anyway, tarot classes are starting next Sunday at 12 p.m. Pacific. They're live classes, but also recorded. Internet, man. Maybe if I move like 3 feet, 2 feet over, it'll be better. Sometimes that's all it takes. Let me move over a little bit. I just got to rearrange a couple things. So anyway, tarot class starts October 6th. You can join me. We can learn about tarot together. It would be so fun. I love this beginning tarot that I do, and it's such a fun class. And it will take you from being a beginner to being at a level that you could be even, if you go through beginning and advanced, you can definitely do readings for your friends and family, but you could also go on to professional and start a tarot business, which would be pretty awesome. All right, so we do have somebody, Angelicant. I'm going to say it, Angelicant. Someone could sample that in a song. Made a donation of $40, and Devon made a donation of $40. So I'm just going to say, Angelicant, you get to go first. A question I have: what should I do regarding a healing program I really want to be in, but the budget I said I could put forward toward it, I can no longer afford? Also, general guidance on money. Well, let's take a look. All right, great question. Love that question. It's money, and what do I do about this class that I said I could afford, but now I can't afford? All right. Okay, good things I see here. So the first thing is the Three of Cups. So Three of Cups is like these three little witches, pumpkin witch, cat witch, pumpkin witch, all getting together, toasting each other with their cute little teacups, having a great time. Oh, by the way, the deck that I'm using, did I say it's the Silver Acorn Tarot? So working with this card, interesting. I think they will work with you. This is very friendly energy. And I think that the sense that I get for the healing program is if you go to them and say, look, my financial situation has changed. I'm very humble because I said I could afford this. Now my situation has changed, and say how your situation has changed. Are you a freelancer and you're making less money now, or so, some other extenuating circumstance, and say, I really want to go to this program. I really want to take this program, but this is what I can afford. What can I do? And they may give you some options. I see that wonderful unifying energy of the Three of Cups being them working with you. I really see them working with you. Now, it may be an interesting thing with Three of Cups. Is there a friend of yours who can afford to pay like full price? You might use that as a bargaining chip for this as well. If I come to this class and I bring someone, can I get a discount on mine for bringing someone new in? That can be a really great way of, sort of sweetening this a little bit. They'll get an extra student. It's going to be, honestly, if you think about this is a good thing to remember. Whether they teach that class to 5 people or 50 people, they're still going to have to put in basically the same amount of effort, right? They're still there teaching the class, doing the thing. If they have 5 people, they're only making enough money for 5 people. But if they have 50, they're going to make a lot more. So it may be that you can bring a referral in or do something like that to get a discount of some kind. That's kind of the energy that I'm getting here. So I think that they'll find a way to work with you. There's definitely that. And you just have to kind of go to them and explain the situation. Now, interestingly, King of Wands shows up second. King of Wands, I get the energy of some, like, you needing to value yourself more. So whether that it is like asking a slightly higher price for the work that things that you create, or asking for a raise at work, but like I feel like you're undervaluing yourself in some way, and you have to like get on kind of thinking in that way of how can I align my value. Remember this. This is pretty universal for most people. This is not just you. We think that what we do and what we're good at, it's so easy, right? Anybody could do that. But it's not true. Anybody can't do that. So, when you have a gift or a skill or a talent or something that you know or you learned or have an ability, um, you want to value it and value it in like this card is saying, like, bump it up a little bit. That can also help with your money. Now, if the situation is you don't have a job right now, or you're looking for a job, then it's remembering your talents, your skills, and all of those things and how valuable they are in the workplace. I think we kind of go into job hunting situations going like, "Oh, I want you to give me this job." But really the attitude we need to go in anything, whether it's one-off freelance job or if it's a permanent job or whatever, is remembering that we are solving their problem, right? We are solving their problem. Like I remember when I was doing my podcast, I hired a great guy. He's like amazing to do the editing for my podcast. He solved my problem. Could I learn how to edit a podcast? Sure. Could I go through the effort? Sure. And then initially, when I first started my podcast, I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going to learn how to edit audio. And then I took a step back and I'm like, I really don't have the time. I really don't have the desire. It's not like something I really want to learn. I don't want to be an audio editor. That doesn't sound fun to me. So that person who had the audio editing skills, he was solving my problem, right? Solving my problem. So I want you to think those terms that you're a problem solver and the gifts that you bring are solving problems for people, whether it's, anything that you're creating or doing or making, and value yourself at that level. This is very creative and very empowered, so you want to like lift yourself up. And if you have a job currently, see what other people in the same jobs, are making. That can be quite a revelation. I think a lot of times we, in general, and especially women, sort of undervalue the work that we do. You need to ask and you need to, not in a mean way, but just see the real value and get the real value for who you are and what services you offer and all that you do. Interesting. Seven of Swords shows up next. And Seven of Swords says there may be some sneaky little leaks in your money as well. Meaning, are there in particular people who are borrowing money or you're giving money to and they don't pay it back? Are there things that you're subscribed to that you don't know that you're subscribed to and they're still dinging you every month? I found some of those the other day and I was like, oh my God, it was like wild, right? So look for those little leaks in your money situation, whether it's a subscription or people that are like always borrowing from you or something, and then tighten those up a little bit. Lastly, we've got Three of Pentacles. I love Three of Pentacles. So Three of Pentacles is a very positive sign about money and growing money. But Three of Pentacles is working with others. So there are partnerships that are very fruitful financially, whether this is like getting a new job or freelancing with a partner or building a business together or whatever it is. The working with others is going to be your like where it really blossoms. So it doesn't have to be you doing it all by yourself. It's you doing it with others, but that's where it's going to blossom. So yeah. Good to know, right? What do you have, Love Witch?
I love that. I have the King of Pentacles. So I think, make those adjustments that Benita is talking about, and you're going to be in much better financial shape in no time. The King of Pentacles has more than enough and has enough to go around, right? So you're heading in the right direction and your head is in the right place to be evaluating these things and to even realize that you can't afford what you thought you could. So just know that like you've already started doing the work. I love what you said about how like the things that come really easy to us, we don't realize how good we are at them, right? I remember my very first copywriting job thinking like, oh, this is like a scam. This is too easy. This is way too easy. How am I being paid to do this? And then I saw the work of the person that sat next to me, and I was like, oh, I guess this isn't so easy after all. And I saw them working like really hard too. So it's like, okay, that comes easy to me. And if I had just operated under that assumption of this is a scam for the rest of my life, like I would have never um, made any more money than I did at my first job, right? But I realized like, oh, I'm really good at this. I need to also like strengthen up my skills as an editor and as a proofreader and all these other things. And then got promoted and like went on to, do all kinds of stuff. So really give yourself credit for the skills that you have and pat yourself on the back because you're special. I can tell by your name.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's so funny is one of the things like we think about are like like think about like things that are not easy for you, right? Like the sound editing or like fixing my car. I'm just like, oh my God. And like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to learn how to do that. I'd rather pay someone to do that, right? Or a
Mm-hmm.
plumber coming into your house. Plumbing is not hard at all, but you have to know things, right? And you have to be able to move around. Those are, I think, the two requirements is you have to know what you're doing, but it's pipes and water and some details about that, right? So I think about like the things that like well, like my plumber came and did something in my house and it was great. He's a great guy. I love him. He's super reasonably priced. He comes over, he's awesome. But I had to put a new shower head on my shower and I was like, can I do this? And I got the shower head and I got the directions and I just did it. And I'm like, oh, I didn't call him over and I didn't have to call him over. There are pretty simple things you can do, right? We can watch a YouTube video and learn how to do
Mm-hmm.
things, right? But ultimately, at the end of the day, your skills have value. Your skills have value, whether that skill is teaching, whether that skill is plumbing, whether that skill is cooking, these or herbology or tarot reading or whatever, these skills have value and it's about you valuing yourself and you're valuing your skills. And I think a good way to do that is to see what other people are getting for those skills. It can be so great, then you sort of know, well, gosh, I
Mm-hmm.
should be asking for more, right? I'm as good or better than that person. So yeah, I love that.
I
All
had to
right.
play amateur plumber last night.
Did
Yeah, I
you?
have one of the like tub stoppers where it's like a switch that you pull up and down, and it got stuck. And I was like, oh no, I'm gonna have to like call somebody, and I'm not gonna be able to take a bath, and I'm gonna have to like take boring showers. And I thought, you know what? I'm gonna just like YouTube this and see if maybe I can do it. And it was a 30-second fix, and I'm sure they would charge like $100. All I had to do was take it off and put it back on.
YouTube is awesome for that. You know what?
Yeah.
My 10-year-old car um, is has a touch screen for the radio and all the sound stuff, right? And it's always been fussy and like you touch it and nothing happens. Well, finally it got to the point where you touch it and nothing happens, just like doesn't respond. And Morgan, my kid, looked it up online. He's like, oh, if you stick a credit card in there, it's like it's thinking your touch screen, the picture doesn't match where you're supposed to be touching. You're supposed to be touching. He put a credit card down there and he fixed it. I'm like, oh
Wow.
my God, that's so weird. So anyway, yes, YouTube can be your friend for sure. Thank you so much, Angelica Hunt. All right. Next we have Devon. Devon is feeding a whole granny. Usual, seeing what's ahead. I love it, Devon. Uh, are you having some nice fall colors, Devon, out there? Are you having some cute fall colors? Have they come out for you guys in New York yet? You haven't even looked.
We're getting there. I have looked. I went on a
Yeah.
walk yesterday and everything. You'd be so
Oh my
proud of
gosh,
me.
I am proud of you. Um, we don't have that in California.
Well, you need to come visit us in New York.
Oh yeah, my new doctor, the one that looked at my foot, I said, she just moved here from the Bronx. She's awesome. And I said, how do you like it? How's the adjustment been? And she's like, pretty good. I go, do you miss the fall color? She says, it's really nice being in California. I don't miss it.
Yeah, you can dress in fall colors, you can dye your hair autumnal
Exactly.
tones. There's plenty of ways to make up for
Cut out
it.
some leaves. We do have, a little bit here and there. Like we'll have maple trees that turn colors, but it's not like the East Coast where you just have such beautiful display, or the Midwest, everywhere except for, Mediterranean, California and Arizona and deserts and those areas. All right, so Devon, let's take a look and see. All right, what's ahead for Devon this week? What's up for Devon? I like it. Okay, Knight of Pentacles is the first card that shows up. Knight of Pentacles, I always think of Knight of Pentacles of like, you stick with the plan. You got a plan. You know what, remember, where was it? Oh, I've done so many things today. We have a coven, and the coven, I do a monthly month ahead reading. So I did a reading for them for the month of October, and I pull one card for them. There's the coven right there. So I was talking about tarot cards, and I'm like, did I talk about this at the Q&A? Where did I talk about this? It was at the coven. We call it the tarot salon, the tarot salon. I can't think of anything right now. So at the tarot salon, we were talking about the knights, and I was saying how the knights really represent motion, movement, going forward, moving, entering into something or exploring something or going out. Every single knight in the traditional tarot, the Rider-Waite or the Rider-Waite-ish one you have, they're on a horse, right? They're moving on something. But we also have something very unique, which is the speed of the horses. So the swords, which represent the element of the air, that horse is galloping at full speed. Then the fire, the wands, he's kind of just like prancing. The water, cups one is walking, and then the earthy pentacles is standing still or going very slow. He's on a little cart in this version. So when I see that earthy energy with movement, the message is stick with the plan. Like whatever plan you've got, like it's good, it's going to work, you're going to get the result. The result is the manifestation that's represented by the pentacle. So if there's a plan that you have, it's like now is not the time to throw it away or to make a big radical change. It might be moving slowly, but you will get there. I think of this like tortoise in the hare. It's the tortoise. Slow and steady wins the race. Keep moving, keep going forward, keep going on the plan. Don't be like a rabbit, goofing off, doing this, doing that. Just keep step by step moving towards your goal, and you will get there. That's the Knight of Pentacles. So this week, when we're looking, this tends to be a very long range card. So in looking at a week ahead, I would say, okay, in this week that we have coming up, things might feel like they're moving very slowly, maybe even not feeling like they're moving at all. But if you keep going, keep working, keep doing it, you're going to get there and you're going to get that good result. By the way, did I even mention, I forgot, I just saw somebody else come in. If you are making a donation, put it in chat where you donated, how much you donated, and what your question is. I don't know if people are donating. I'm just thinking that we can see the donation. You need to let us know in the chat. All right. So Devon, that's the first thing. Second thing, Justice card. Justice card, I love. Again, it has a kind of slowish energy. So I feel like the projects that you're working on this week will feel like they're like you're investing in something, and are you going to see the result? This is another card about seeing results. Justice card represents karmic justice, right? The idea that we invest in something and we get something back, right? What you put into it, you get out of it. So when I see Justice card, I think of it being a little bit like it's a little bit like you're putting money in a slot machine and then the slot machine eventually pays off, right? So it can sometimes feel like that. Am I just throwing my money away, or am I just throwing my energy away? Am I investing in something, time, energy, thought, whatever, Am I investing in it? Is it going to produce something? So both of these cards are saying that. So there may be something this week that feels very slow, that feels like it's not moving, but if you keep working at it, keep going, you're going to get there. All right. Probably on Friday at 5 o'clock, you'll get there. Right? All right. So third card is the Five of Cups. Five of Cups shows this little character with 3 spilled teacups and 2 upright cups. So what this card represents is a focus. It's like, are you focusing on what you don't have instead of what you do have? So this is a great time to really put your attention on the things that you do have. And yes, you can acknowledge something that you don't have. It doesn't mean you have to be in denial about things, but it's more about like focusing on what I have or focusing on the future rather than the present state of lack in whatever area. Whatever you're focusing on lack, you're just going to create more lack. So there's no point in doing that. So five of pentacles, five of cups is telling you to take a look. Yeah, okay, acknowledge it, but then pay attention to what you do have, those 2 cups that are upright. I often think of this as like, look, glass half full versus glass half empty. You want to be a glass half full person, not a glass half empty person. Lastly, Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords means great ideas, great communication in regards to whatever projects you're working on this week. Make sure you're communicating and you're communicating clearly. The Ace of Swords also has the idea of boundaries and creating really clear boundaries. Communication is a great way to communicate boundaries, right? I will do this once I get this, right? Or I am expecting, this is what I expect from you, right? These are good, like very good pieces of communication that you can put out there to set boundaries. It doesn't mean keeping anything out. It means being clear in your expectations, right? So, like for example, like if you're working alongside somebody, it's like, okay, you're going to work on that part and it's A, B, and C. I'm going to work on this part, D, E, and F. And when you're done with A, I want you to bring it to me so that I can work on part B or whatever you guys work out. So, it's communicating boundaries, communication, clarity, so that there's no doubling up on anything. I think that's very, very good. So it's a great week. That Ace of Swords also means victory. So that's another great message for you. You'll get there. I mean, that's a great message about like anything that you're working on, you'll achieve it. Just keep taking your steps, right? Keep your focus, keep going. Even if you're not seeing a result, keep working at it. All right. What do you have for Devon for this week?
I have the World. So I really think you're going to achieve big things this week, and then it's going to be on to even bigger and even better. So get excited and start dreaming about what it is that you want once you finish up working on these things. I love that in this interpretation of the world, the background is orange. It's like really opening you up to so many possibilities and to so much more success through this success, right? Like each time you really achieve something and each time a dream comes into fruition, it activates this part of you that realizes, hey, I can achieve my dreams. So yeah, let it be fuel and let it open up roads to even more exciting possibilities.
Is she wearing a beret?
I don't think so. I think that's just her hair.
Oh, it's her hair. I
Yeah,
couldn't
she's just
see.
blonde.
It looked like she was wearing a yellow beret, a raspberry beret. All right. Thank you so much, Devon. Helen has made a donation. If you'd like to get a reading, you can get a reading with us. All you have to do is go to Venmo or PayPal. We put those codes up so you can get to them easily. You can go to Venmo or PayPal and you make a donation. Once you've made that donation, it's $10 per card. So 10, 20, 30, 40, whatever. Come back here, tell us how much you donated, where you made the donation, and then your question. Just like Helen did right here. Perfect example. Helen, you are our example. Okay, so $20 through PayPal, 2-card thoughts for October. So kind of like what's ahead for October. Great. All right, what do we need to know about October? Oh, interesting. Very interesting, Helen. Okay. First card is the Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles is about skill building and building your money tree. So really a good energy for October. I think of like almost there's kind of a little correlation with like a squirrel gathering nuts, right? Working really hard, but gathering, right? There's this little pumpkin guy painting these gold discs, these pentacles, and stacking them up against this tree. This is really like that idea that you're perfecting something, you're building something, and that is corresponding to building your money. So for the month of October, is there a skill that you can learn? Is there some kind of education that you can invest in? Is there some kind of practice that you can do to get better and that will affect your money positively? That would be a good thing to be working on. Likewise, pentacles can also mean health. So this is like when this shows up in regards to a health question, it's like, okay, doing the little thing every day, like walking 20 minutes every day or tweaking and making a small change in your diet or eating more fruits and vegetables every day. Those kinds of things that are incremental, but that have a great benefit in the long run. Now, second card is the Devil card. Devil card is so fascinating to me. It's the card with the biggest spectrum of meaning. But if we get down to the essence of the Devil card in its essence, positive or negative, it is about power. It's about power, right? If we look at the story of the devil was Lucifer. Lucifer was God's favorite angel. And then he decided, why is God the boss of me? You shouldn't be the boss of me. I'm going to rebel against this mean guy that's going around destroying the world. So not a bad idea, actually. So in that rebellion, there was a power struggle, right? So when I see the Devil card, I think of power and power struggles. Now, many times, and there's different interpretations of the Devil card. Some people say the Devil card is addiction, right? Well, what is addiction? Addiction is something having power over you. You don't have power over it, right? Obsession, something has power over you. You don't have power over it. I also see it can be oppression, someone having power over you. But there's also the flip side of this, which is you rebelling against something that has power over you. So, your spiritual examination for the month of October is to say, where am I giving my power up? Where am I not asserting my power where I should be asserting my power? Is it an addiction, an obsession, a relationship? Is it just asserting more power yourself? Is it speaking your mind more? What is it? So you are going to do an examination of your own life and say, okay, for example, sugar has control over me. I cannot stop eating sugar. I need to get back the control. I need to use my will to get back the control. Or I'm telling you things that I have. Or
No, you're telling me things I have.
is my like sloth, my laziness. Well, now I've got a broken foot, so that's a different issue. But I'm like, I'd rather stay in bed all morning than go out for a walk in the morning. Is that like me having power, or is it like my lazy tendencies having power over me? So if you think about like the areas of your life where you have given up power, that's where you need to focus. Where have you given up power? Where have you given up agency and power? And where can you retrieve that or assert your power again? That's the question. So the Devil card isn't a scary card unless you don't want to confront, which most people don't want to confront their addictions and obsessions and things like that. We don't want to confront those things, but to be free, we do have to assert ourselves. We do have to look at these things, right? To be really free, we do. So you've got some deep spiritual work for this October. I kind of love that. And then this goes along. I mean, these two kind of go along. Then it's like working at that thing over and over again, working at that. It's not going to happen. You're not going to say, I'm giving up sugar and then give up sugar overnight. It's going to be practicing and perfecting, which is the Eight of Pentacles. So whatever the addiction is, whatever the obsession is, wherever the where you have willingly given over your power, that's what you're going to be working on for October. So, all right. Love
It's
Witch, take
definitely
it
going to
away.
feel like work. I have the Ten of Wands. And this is not a bad card. You know, the Ten of Wands, he is doing hard work, but this is hard work that's worthwhile and that will pay off. He's getting closer and closer to these beautiful castles and to his beautiful future. But there are warnings from this card, which is like, you don't have to do all this work on your own. So whatever it is that, you know, you are struggling to overcome or that you are trying to break free from this month, ask for help, rely on the support of your community and of other people who face a similar struggle. And also keep in mind that, like, you know, I don't know what you're dealing with, Helen, but if you're trying to quit sugar, for example, craving sugar is a symptom of not having had it. So your craving is just evidence of how good you're doing, right? That means you haven't been eating sugar. So be proud of yourself when you have a craving, because it's like, oh, this is a sign of the fact that, like, I'm separating myself from this thing and I can give into this craving, or I can keep being strong, keep doing the work and power through it. But yeah, it's a positive sign and it's trying to lure you backwards, but you don't have to listen to it. You just have to remind yourself of the path that you're on and why this hard work is worth it.
You know, I think of so many things, like there are so much support, so you don't have to. It's your birthday month.
Happy
Always
birthday.
deep thought. Yeah, you asked for some deep thought. Happy birthday, Helen. Um, I think of like, when we're dealing with addiction, there's so many free resources out there. If you are
Mhm.
having like food addiction, there's Overeaters Anonymous. If you're alcohol addiction, there's Alcoholics Anonymous. There's Narcotics Anonymous. There's Gamblers Anonymous. There's Codependence Anonymous. There's, I mean, you name it, whatever situation has control over you, there are programs. Those are great programs. If that isn't your flavor, there are other things like going to therapy or getting into group therapy. There are things like, for me, what works really well when I was doing it, I'm not, obviously haven't been doing it lately, but there was a thing called Way Better, WAYBETTER, which is a program to help you exercise, eat right, and it's group oriented, and you um, kind of they give you challenges, and you kind of bet on yourself. Like, I can do this. So you bet $20 on yourself. And if you don't achieve it, your $20 goes into a pot that's spread throughout the people that did achieve the goal. So you're working with others, and that's the way to work with others. So it doesn't mean that you have to do it all yourself. There can be support will really work, is what I'm seeing, like when you said, Love Witch, that like you don't have to do this by yourself, right? You've got people with you. So it can be personal friends, but it can also be strangers,
Yeah. Yeah.
It'd be really,
It could
really
even be as simple as, like, people on a message board, right? Who are going through the same thing. They will share their experiences and you will feel less alone. And they will also share the things that were helpful to them and the resources they found. So definitely, you know, look
Yeah.
around, find people who are struggling with whatever you're struggling with,
Yeah.
or who
Whatever
are, you
you're,
know,
yeah.
overcoming what you're overcoming. You don't have to be
Yeah.
struggling
Yeah.
with it anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can see what other people have done, and that can be a huge help too, as well. So, yeah, it's really good. Very insightful, of which.
Yeah.
All right. So Bruce has a question. Bruce and then Mel. So Bruce has a one card reading. Okay. My friend wants to know if next year she will receive an unsolicited offer of a job from a production company, as a psychic recently told her she would. So we can ask that question, but we can also like kind of expand that question by saying, what does she need to do to get the job offer, or like what does she need to know or do or something like that to get the job offer, because it sounds like she wanted the unsolicited offer. So there may be a step involved that can be helpful. All right. Let's take one more shuffle. Hello. Glinda's here, always around when there's magic going on or divination. What are you doing, lady? She's on the other
Simone
side.
is in my lap, so if I'm moving strangely, that's why.
Okay. This is a very interesting card. All right. So 9 of Pentacles came up. A 9 of Pentacles, so it's this cute little strawberry lady with her butterfly on her hand, and she's in her garden with lots and lots of coins around. I always call this card the Lady of Leisure, somebody who is wealthy, who it's easy for her. She just gets to enjoy life and enjoy her wealth. So what I see for your friend, if like I were to look at that, I would say absolutely that unsolicited offer is on its way. How she needs to get it is by hanging in the circles of the people who are offering the jobs. She needs to get into those circles. The rich lady, right? The rich person, the person who has the purse strings, the person who has the money is where she needs to be. So does she move in those circles? Can she move in those circles? Can she get creative about how to move in those circles? I think about like a production job, and I'm guessing it's like TV movie or something like that, because I know you're involved in that. In Bruce, you're a little bit involved in that. So where do TV and movie people hang out? I see them all the time here in Los Angeles every time I go to a movie event, right? So there are movie events, like they'll have, I don't know if they have these where your friend is, but I'm just giving an example from my world. Like there's a theater down the street from me that's an old theater, but they've converted it into a revival house, and they'll have movies and they'll have speakers come. They'll have directors come and speak. They'll have actors come and speak. It's so fun. One time, I took my then boyfriend. This is a long time ago. We went to see Mel Brooks speak. We watched Blazing Saddles, and Mel Brooks and Carl Reiner were both there and speaking. It was amazing. Wow. So to see like these people who are involved in there, you're not only going to, it's not just about the people that are there up on stage, it's the people that are in the audience, right? Mixing and mingling. There's plenty of industry people that are there to see this, right? So I think about going to industry events where they're open to the public, but people who are interested in those things go. There's a huge passion, of course, in Los Angeles for film and television, and deep respect, and so many people that are involved in that. But the same is true in lots of big cities. You know, New Orleans, Atlanta, New York, productions are going on there all the time, and events are going on there. Film festivals, Tribeca, a former employer of hers. Okay, great. Is it specifically, did the psychic specifically say the former employer is going to come back? I still stand by what I say. Where does that former employer hang out? Because it's at these casual things that you be like, oh my gosh, there's my old boss. Hey, Joe, how's it going? Hey, Susie, how's it going? Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm looking for work right now. So it's in these places where these people hang out. She's hanging out in her lush environment. Your friend needs to go to these events that are industry oriented, and where she can have that synchronicity. It is, in other words, not going to happen by sitting at home. It is not going to happen by sitting by the telephone waiting for the phone to call. Nobody sits by the telephone anymore. That's such an old person thing to say, but you get what I'm saying. Sit by the telephone.
People sit by the phone all the time. They cling that phone in their hand, sitting there waiting for it to ring. Still a thing.
Exactly. So what I'm getting is be out in the world in these environments where these people are. So if it's her former employer, where does the former employer hang out? She probably knows, right? That's the way to do it. That's the way to get it, is to be in the right place at the right time. But sitting at home is not the right place. right? In other words, sitting at home, wishing and hoping. That's not how it's going to happen. It's going to happen by being out in the world, networking and seeing the people that used to be your boss. I have a friend who's an actor. She's amazing. If you saw the movie Knives Out, she played the older old lady that was there, that was like barely verbal. She's amazing. She's totally verbal, by the way, totally with it, and really smart, right? So it's interesting to see her act, right? And she's acting. But I go with her to, like, she'll invite me sometimes to go with her to like a screening, and she'll like be like, oh, there's that person, there's that person. They all are there, right? They're all there.
Mhm.
It's really fun. They have great like pass around food. It's really fun to go to a screening if you ever get a chance. But these are the things these people go to. So she needs to figure out, like, where do these people, she probably knows where they socialize. It's not like you're stalking them, but getting out into the flow of life where production people are is exactly what you need to be doing. Exactly what you need to be doing. That's it. So the card says she can do whatever she wants, but I'm telling you what the card says. So yeah. All right.
I feel like even if she's not hanging out, like exactly where that specific employer is, even just being in those places where those types of people are, is building that magnetism and getting your face back in people's minds, including people who may be connected to that former employer. And then they're like, hey, guess who I saw the other night, right? And
Exactly.
also, I have just this like intuitive feeling that one of the best ways to this job is by not needing it. So by having this attitude of like, oh, I'm available, but I'm so successful, I'm doing my thing. If you ever need help, you can let me know, but I'm not like begging at the door. I think that air of like not needing it is very much that lady of leisure, right? Where it's like,
Mm-hmm,
oh, I'm
mm-hmm,
happy to
mm-hmm.
grace you with my presence if you request it, but I also can fill my time other ways. I got the Ace of Swords, so I think another good way to make some movement on this is like reach out. You don't have to reach out asking for a job, but you could reach out congratulating them on something that has happened recently, on a project that has come out, and just get your name or your friend's name back in the minds, right? I think that could be a huge way to like get the situation moving, and it's still unsolicited, right? You didn't ask for a job, but just because something's unsolicited doesn't mean that it's like out of the blue completely, right? You got to
Mm-hmm.
get in that person's mind or get in front of them in order to get that offer. So don't be afraid to talk to people.
Yeah, yeah. I think communication is key, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, networking. I mean, I think this is human nature, right? You might not think of somebody, and then you see a person that, like, again, she might not see her boss at the event, but she might see somebody who um, also worked for the boss, right? So there might be some key information that she's getting by being at these events. So I definitely, and definitely Nine of Pentacles energy is holding yourself in like esteem, right? Holding good self-esteem, healthy self-esteem. Yeah. Okay. Um, Thank you, Bruce. All right, Mel is next. Mel, thank you so much. Mel has a 10 card reading. Thank you, Mel. What kind career look for how the week? You want to tell me what that means? Oh, forgot. Is this person Liz okay? Have not heard from them. Do you want
Yes,
to
I think she wants to
translate?
know what kind of career to look for and how
Oh,
the week is going to go and how Liz
okay.
is.
Okay.
What I'm getting from that.
So let's do 5 on career, 3 on how the week is going to look, and 2 on Liz. That sound good? That's what I'm going to do. I make the
Sounds good
rules.
to me.
Who's gonna say no? You're not going to say no. All right. If you'd like to get a reading, you can. All you have to do is go to Venmo or PayPal or Super Chat down below, Super Chat button, and let us know. Let us know where you donated, how much you donated, and what your question is. We'd love to do a reading for you. And your 100% of the proceeds go to feed seniors in Ukraine. All right. I hear lots of clicky clacking. What's going on over there?
I am responding to live chats. So if you need help from a witch, head to parlorwonders.com and click the chat icon, but try and wait till we get done here. But this one was important. So
Okay. Yeah, the live chat is 99% of the time the Love Witch, and 1% of the time I hop on and I'm like, oh, I've got the answer to that weird question of yours. Odd question. What was the odd question we had the other day?
it
Oh,
was
could you write on a mandrake? Can I write a name? I go, it's a twig. So I guess you can write on it if you write very small. And Love Witch pointed out, if you can write a name on a grain of rice, you can definitely write a name on a mandrake twig.
Can't write my name on rice though, or at least the one lady at the beach couldn't. It was too long.
Too long? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
We had to just
Maybe.
get my sister and my mom instead.
Oh my gosh. When was this? When you were little?
Yeah, it was like 93. I
Oh
was
my gosh.
upset for
Okay.
days though.
Okay. When you come to Santa Monica again, we're going to go to the pier, and sometimes there's a name on rice person,
Oh
and
my
we're going
gosh.
to make them do it.
Amazing.
Maybe the
I don't care if
technology has
it could be 2
improved.
grains of rice. Like I'm fine with that. You know, I can get
Yeah.
half of my name on 1 grain or either side of it. I'm down to get
Yeah.
creative.
Yeah. 2 sides of that grain of rice. All right, Mel. Okay. So, in looking at the job, interesting, cool. I kind of love it. All right. All right. Let's look at the whole job scenario first. So the first thing that came up is the Queen of Swords. I love this. I love this. I love this because it tells me what your gifts are. Queen of Swords is super smart, very, very intelligent, very rational, organized. I think of a very organized person, somebody who is methodical but quick, decisive energy, good judge of character, can draw good boundaries. There are so many jobs that this benefits in our culture that you can make good money. I mean, it's not like there's any limit to the number of jobs. I mean, this is probably one of the biggest skills to get a good paying job that you need, and you've got it. So you've got intelligence, smarts, organization skills, all of those things, and decisive too, which I love. You know, you can make a decision and draw clear boundaries. Now, the next card is the Four of Wands. So Four of Wands is a card that represents like a community. So there's like, well, it shows them celebrating. Usually it shows people in the background, and the right away it shows people in the background. They're celebrating. It's like a wedding. I mean, I could look at this and be really direct and say like wedding planner, which does require intelligence, does require all those things, but you also have to deal with very difficult people with lots of demands. So I don't know if that's going to sit with a Scorpio very well. You know, who knows? But it could be event or coordinator. It could be organizing things for big groups of people. It could be a project manager. It could be so there's something about working with maybe big events or big groups of people that could be very good for you. Now, regardless, this card also has another meaning, which is about public approval, being approved by other people. So oftentimes this will show up like in career as like positive kudos for what you've accomplished, right? So it doesn't have to mean like you have a, big awards ceremony celebrating you, but what I'm seeing here is that the people that you have worked for can give you good references because they have appreciated the work that you have done and you've achieved a lot. So I think this is also a reminder to you to reflect and look back on what you have accomplished in the job that you are in now and how you can apply those accomplishments to some other career. It doesn't have to be a direct one-for-one correspondence between the two, meaning let's see, I worked in a library. I mean, I worked as a teacher, I worked in a library. Now I'm teaching and writing. Librarian and writer, they're kind of related, but they're not the same, right? So you can think about how you can take skills that you have and transfer them to something else because you have been appreciated by the people that you've worked for. Next card is the Queen of Cups. So Queen of Cups represents definitely scorpionic energy, watery energy, mystical energies, intuitive energy. So you have great intuition. Look at your Queen of Swords and Queen of Cups combo. Queen of Swords, I often think of as like she's, very logical. And then we also have this intuitive side of you too. Now, this isn't marketable in our society other than if you want to be a reader. I mean, if you want to be a reader, great, then this is going to be great for you. But in terms of like a regular job, you cannot go in and say, I'm very intuitive. They're going to be like, so what? They don't, this is what they value in a job more, 100%. But that doesn't mean that you can't use these skills. So intuition and psychic ability and intuition can be used a lot. Like, I find there are jobs like that you wouldn't think that magic would pop into these jobs, but magic pops into these jobs all the time. And my clients who work at these jobs are real masters at them. An example would be salespeople, really good salespeople. Like I don't mean good salespeople like pushy salespeople. I mean good salespeople. Good salespeople who are matching you with the thing that's going to help you. That's like if you look at sales in a positive light, that's what sales is designed for. You want a new refrigerator, I'm going to find you the refrigerator that has all the features that you need, and we're going to match you, right? That's the salesperson's job. So salespeople, though, have this ability to also manifest. They need to meet sales goals. So they're like, I have to sell 10 refrigerators this month. Okay. And a good salesperson has that ability to manifest and meet goals, right? But that's a magical ability. So when I work with my clients who are salespeople, when I talk about manifesting, they're like, oh, I can totally do it. And I've seen some of the best manifestation work come from salespeople because they've already got that skill, right?
Yeah.
Now, intuition shows up in other skills like medicine. Believe it or not, the best doctors have great intuition. You know what? All the numbers are right, but something's telling me it's this. Something's telling me to look a little bit more into this. That's intuition. And the best doctors are not all this. They have to have this for sure, but they need this as well. So intuition shows up in detective work, right?
Mhm.
Something feels off. I need to go check that thing out, right? Listening to that voice inside that's telling you to go look for something. So I think you have this very unique combination of psychic ability, intuition, and rational smarts. Could be taken so many directions. If you went into law, for example, right? If you decided to become a lawyer, which could be a possibility, you could be like, I have a feeling that if I present it this way, it's going to be received in the right way that will favor my client, right? Or something like that. So think about how your skills of super intelligence and super intuition can blend together to work for you. Now, one of the things that Queen of Cups also represents is healing. She can represent healing. So healing professions could be good for you, but you also have that intelligence part. You want to learn the thing, right? I see it as being your job as being something that is new to you because Page of Pentacles is brand new at the job, right? So I definitely see you taking a veering off the path, taking all of your skills with you, but veering into a new career. With Page of Pentacles, the goal is getting your foot in the door. You don't have to be at the highest level when you come in. Get your foot in the door and you will accelerate quickly. So, for example, if I decided I was going to use my smarts and my intuition to be in medicine, big veering for me, right? Um, I would say I'm going to work in a medical office because once I work in a medical office, they can guide me. Like, how do I get to be a nurse, then a nurse practitioner, then a
Mhm.
physician's assistant? I can see the acceleration and it can happen very, very quickly versus being outside of that environment and being confused and not really knowing what's needed or which way to go. So the point is to get your foot in the door. Now, the Hanged Man shows up, and Hanged Man is a card of investing in something to get a result. It can be a sacrifice of some kind. So, again, with that Page of Pentacles, if you're going to shift gears to a new job, you may take a temporary cut in pay because you're just getting your foot in the door. But getting your foot in the door can lead to that better thing that you are wanting, and you will quickly, from that dip, return to where you are now and even make more money. So I think about gifts and skills that you have and how can you apply those to different jobs. If you're like, I have no freaking idea of what job to even start, where to begin looking, where to apply these skills, then I have a little exercise that I love to teach people that is so good for helping you to clarify where your heart is. Go to a public library, go to the nonfiction section, start at 000 in the nonfiction. I'm an old librarian, so I know these numbers and all they mean.
Your
Go
Dewey
all the way to
Decimal over there.
yeah, Dewey Decimal. I don't remember them as well as I used to, but I do know like all the like Bigfoot and everything's over in 000. All the wacky aliens and Bigfoot are over there. So when you go to the library, start at 000 and look at the books, like look at the book titles and see which ones intrigue you. This is a great way to see where your interests lie, right? Like if you're like, I don't even know where to begin. So if you're like looking through the books and then you find an area like plants and you're like, oh, I'm fascinated by plants. This is like my section. Oh, there's a book about house plants and there's a book about herbs and there's a book about this and that and that. Then you know that there's a heart magnetism toward that topic. So then how do you apply your smarts and your intuition to that? Right? How do you apply your smarts and your intuition to that? Well, you can say, okay, I'm interested in plants. What could I do? I could be a landscaper. I could be a florist. I could be an herbalist. I could be a scientist studying botany. I mean, there's a number of things that you can do, but at least it starts you on that path so that you find the thing that really tickles your excitement and your creativity and your intrigue. You should always be doing something that for you has a place of enjoyment. Honestly, when we're working at a job with no enjoyment, that's pretty horrible. So that's what you want to be doing. Okay, so that's the job situation. Now let's look at the week ahead, right? That was the second question, week ahead. Okay.
Yeah.
Week ahead is awesome. This is a great week for you. This is one of the best weeks I think we've seen. Maybe it's because you have the idea that you're going to be looking for another job. First card that shows up is 10 of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles is a card. Is that the card you pulled? You were making a face.
It's not.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just thinking about Mel.
10 of Pentacles is a card of like connecting with the ancestors. This is a great time for asking your ancestors for their assistance and help. I think while this is your card of the week, this can be the card also to asking your ancestors to help with looking for a job and opening the doors to the job that's going to be perfect for you, giving you that inspiration or putting something in front of your face to help you to activate that. Second card of the week, Page of Cups. Oh, it's so cute and sweet. I love Page of Cups. Developing psychic skills, spending time with your animal friends. If you've got some special animals in your life, it could be a fish in a teacup, but it could be something else. Spending time with your animals and connecting with animals, connecting to the psychic world. Also kind of, giving yourself some downtime this week to relax and just take a cleansing bath would be good also too. And then 9 of Cups, which is the card of having everything that you want, manifesting everything that you want. So great week for manifesting the jobs and other things that you are wanting in your life. So really, really good for that. Now, the third question was about Liz. Was it?
Yep.
What was the question?
Is Liz okay? Have not heard.
Oh, is Liz okay? You haven't heard from them. Liz is fine. We've got the World card and we've also got Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles is healthy. So if you're worried about physical health is fine. Financial situation is fine. the world card may be they're busy with lots of things going on, but everything is very positive. So I don't think that what I'm getting from these cards is not this idea that Liz is rejecting you or there's anything wrong with Liz or anything like that. It may be just a forgotten message, a missed message. She may be very busy, but that's about it. All is well. All right. What did you get, Love Witch?
So I finally got my lap freed up. That's what I just got. Someone got down. I have the Page of Swords, and did she get all the pages or 3 out of 4?
Oh my
Not
gosh.
bad,
Yeah. 3 out
right?
of 4. Yeah.
So pages have this great, young, ambitious, fresh, exciting energy. I definitely think this is coming through about your job. And like you need to be looking, just like Pamita said, it's something that utilizes your skills, but is also brand new to you. Don't be afraid to apply or accept an entry level position, because even if you are at like the lowest rung on the ladder, your previous experience is going to make you the most impressive person to ever step foot on that lowest rung, and you're going to work your way up the ladder in no time. Another really great thing, you were talking about, like, if you want to get into medicine, work at a doctor's office, find something that's just in that category. That's really good advice, because a lot of times if you work at a doctor's office and you want to become a doctor or, get some sort of medical training, they'll pay for it. So you could save yourself a lot of money by doing that. And you can also put your toe in the water, and maybe you're like, oh, I'm too squeamish for this. Or, oh, people are way too dramatic here. I can't do it. So yeah, don't be afraid to try things out. The world is changing under his feet. And I really like that. It's like, times are changing. And if you're only trying to find the types of jobs you used to have, they may no longer exist. So really be totally open to new and exciting things, and use all of the changes in the air and all of the advancements that are happening all the time to your benefit.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think, when I think of Page of Swords, I also think of like tech and working in
Mm-hmm.
technology or using technology. So that requires intelligence, which you have. And so there may be opportunities to learn new technology. But also exactly what the Love Witch said, if you aren't sure about a job, get an entry level, like people, this is a classic example. People have a thing. I want to own a restaurant. Go work in a restaurant first and then see if you want to own a restaurant. You know what I
Do you know my
mean?
story about this? I had
No.
worked in some restaurants, and I was like, oh, this is great. This is easy. I want to own a restaurant. So I went to culinary school for like 3 days, and then I was like, I don't want to do this. I hate this.
Yeah. But
And I
I think,
saved
yeah,
$40,000 by dropping out that fast.
yeah.
So
Well,
would
even
have been an
better than
expensive
going to
mistake.
culinary school is going to work in a restaurant as a dishwasher. Because if you
Hmm.
go work as a dishwasher, then soon you'll be like one of the, sous chef line cooks or something like that. And then you just work your way up through that. You'll train and you'll get paid while you're training versus paying somebody. So while, there's nothing wrong with going to these schools, but you're paying money to learn something you could get paid to learn. So you have to get your foot in the door somewhere. So think in that terms of like, when I discover what it is, like maybe you discover like my plant scenario, like you want to be a florist, right? Go work at a florist to really find out if that's your dream, because sometimes the dream of it and the reality are two different things,
Very, very
right?
different. Yeah,
The
totally.
dream and the reality are two different things. Oh, it'd be so glamorous to own a restaurant. I could be a restaurant owner. No, you're there, 24/7. You're dealing with all of the grumpy chefs. You're dealing with all of
Never
the,
going to have another holiday.
yeah, you've got to be there during the holidays. It's like there's a lot that isn't apparent from the outside, but when you get in it, then you go, oh, this is for me or this isn't for me. It's not all negative, right? You may go and you may fall in love with it, but if that's the path, then you're going to go very quickly, because think about this, when you get into it, you're bringing all of your experience and your skills into play. That will help you accelerate very quickly. So it won't be, people sometimes get the notion, remember when I was at that job when I was 20 years old and how long it took me to get to where I am now. It's not going to take you that long at any subsequent job, because you've already got all of that behind you that you can add and then quickly accelerate. And this is what I've seen time and time again for people, in careers, that they go very quickly, as they age, that things move faster. They move faster, so yeah.
Also, going back to, you said the Page of Swords being about technology, use technology to your benefit. Mel, I know you've played around with AI a little bit. Ask AI to give you a list of 50 jobs for intuitive people. Ask it to give you a list of jobs for people who had your old job. Really use that to your benefit. It can save you a lot of research. And yeah, I think it could give you some really good things to think about.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Amazing. We always think of AI being like writing, you know what I mean? But it's so much more than that, right? It's so much more than that. It's pretty fascinating. You have to sort of screen it after you get it, but it's
Yeah.
definitely something pretty interesting. Yep. What kind
Yeah.
of, they need to invent a I don't know if you remember Ask Jeeves. Do you remember Ask
Yes, I
Jeeves?
remember Ask Jeeves.
Ask Jeeves was for those
I
of
was
you
so
that are
sad
young.
when he retired and it just became Ask.
Oh, I know. I loved Ask Jeeves. So Ask Jeeves was like a very early search engine where you could, before in the olden days, you couldn't ask like we do with Google, like, what do I, you know, who's the, who is so and so married to, or you couldn't ask a question. And Ask Jeeves was the first one where you could actually ask a normal question and get an answer. Sometimes good, sometimes not so good. But this was in the days before Google was really a thing. And I think about like what they need to invent with AI is AI that develops to that place where you can say, I'm looking for a job, and that AI is smart enough to ask you the questions to like
Yeah.
get you, because it's not there yet, or not that I have
Yeah.
seen.
That's what I was going to say is like, I think one thing that AI is really great for is teaching you how to be specific about what you're looking for. Because if you just type like whatever into it, you're going to get whatever right back. And you're going to have to keep refining what you're typing until it's exactly the prompt that's going to result in what you want. And that refinement and that being specific, that's the most magical act of all. So, I was very resistant to everything AI for a long time. And then the last couple of months, I realized like I can work against this and get left in the dust, or I can work with it and have some fun and get excited about it. And it's like, you know what? AI and robots could ruin the world, but they also could save it. So let's try and put some good into it and use it for
Yeah,
good and use it to make
it's
our lives
here.
easier instead of like letting it replace us. Let's utilize it. Let's have some fun with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can do. I mean, there's definitely. I'm not. I'm a very big proponent about writing just from my brain and my own research. I
Yeah,
don't
me
write my
too.
books using AI because I don't, it's not me. It's not me. It's not me transmitting information. The classes I teach, I write all by hand. Everything that I make by hand. But I have found some very good uses for AI for helping me with projects and jobs that I'm not that excited about, which aren't
Mhm.
writing or creating. So, yeah, so interesting. I would think, yeah, you can, it's fascinating, like what you can ask and what you'll get back. I mean, sometimes it's wrong and sometimes it's super interesting and
Mhm.
sometimes wacky and crazy and amusing, but
That's a
yeah.
really good point, though. Sometimes it's wrong. So, like, double check anything it tells you.
Yeah,
I had a
absolutely.
friend who posted these screenshots the other day of them arguing with ChatGPT about how many N's were in banana. And ChatGPT did not know. And it was being very firm in its stance that there were the incorrect numbers. So,
Oh my
you know,
gosh.
use your brain too.
My
Oh,
my Miss Madam's over here listening in. This is my familiar. She's always hanging around when I'm doing candle spells and doing tarot. I just want to point out that's Glinda. You're
she's
my
so sweet.
familiar. She's sitting there
I'm
winking and
glad she's
blinking at me.
inside being good, not outside causing mischief.
Oh my god. Not outside on a roof having to call the fire department on to get her down. Um, All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much. Let's see how much money we made for the seniors today. We have $210. That's awesome, you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you again to Mel, to Bruce, Helen, Devon, Angela Cunt. Thank you. So I love saying your name. It cracks me up. We had a very funny thing the other day with an old. Was it Big Biscuit Bitch? What was that? What
Yeah,
it was?
big biscuit bitch.
An old video of me that from a long time ago when I was doing. I think I was doing the Q&A off of YouTube before I was doing it on Zoom, and I was like talking about Big Biscuit Bitch, and I was. And you can't play the video. I'm like, what was I saying? It was somebody's name on YouTube. We're Big Biscuit Bitch wherever you are. We love you. Come
Yeah, I hope
back.
you're
We
still
miss
here.
you.
It's been a while.
Maybe you've changed your name. Who knows? All right, you guys have a
Never
great evening,
change.
everyone. Next week, Miss Kelly will be with me. We'll be doing astrology and tarot. So Miss Kelly will do an astrological part. It's always everybody's favorite. First Sunday of the month, we might be starting about 30 minutes later because I'll be teaching a class, but we'll still be on. If you want to get notified and make sure that you're here for and you don't miss it, and you want to just get a little ping to let you know that we've started, go ahead and follow, subscribe, press the subscribe button below. And then also there's a little bell that looks like a little button that looks like a bell symbol. That's the notifications. And when you click that on my account, you'll just get notified when a new video is up, including the live streams, when the live streams are up. And we don't post videos every single day, so you won't have a bunch of, or maybe we do. I don't know what happens over on YouTube.
We're
But
posting videos every single day through Halloween, so make sure you're coming here every day
yeah.
and checking it because we have so much good stuff dropping.
Yeah.
So good that Pamita
Wonderful.
doesn't even know about it yet.
I know. You're going through all these old video archival footage and finding these old videos where I'm talking about
Time
Big Biscuit
traveling.
Bitch. Thank you so much, you guys, for all your donations. We so much appreciate the seniors in Ukraine, really appreciate. And if you want to see those seniors and you want to see what your donations have done, all you have to do is follow Yulia Subotin on Facebook. If you follow her on Facebook, let's see. I think we have, do we have her follow her? Where is it?
Oh, here it is.
Okay. There's where you can follow Yulia on Facebook, and then you can see, sorry, I'm pressing buttons over here. You can see those seniors that you've helped with your donations today. I want to thank you so much, you guys. Thank you so much, Love Witch, for being here with me, and Simone in the background for being here with us. And we'll see you next week. I'll be here with Miss Kelly Buchanan. The Love Witch will be in the background, working all the bells and whistles. And then we'll be doing this next week. Thanks again so much for joining us. Is there any other announcements we need to make? Don't forget that our new moon for the Scorpio new moon. Come on, Mel, Scorpio. Come on, Buchanan, Scorpio. Scorpio new moon, it's cute little loving spirits. These loving spirits. The new moon, I cannot tell you guys how special this is. The Scorpio new moon is on November 1st, which is that whole window of Halloween, All Souls Day, All Saints Day. It is a very, very special time for connecting to the spirit realm. And we've got this gorgeous candle spell kit for you. It is the Scorpio new moon. So if you want to find that, go to newmoonspells.com or click that. We also have a Halloween bewitching box. And we only have a few deluxe ones left. That has been like a crazy good seller. We still have the regular ones, but these three little cuties are in there. It's a little witch, a little Baphomet, and a little vampire kitten that you can use for protection, opening up your manifestations and empowerment. Great spell work that you can do with that. So if you want all three, you have to get the deluxe version, and you'll get all three. If you order the regular version, you get one at random, and you'll just get the one that you get. Anything else that I need to announce? Tarot class starts on Sunday, next Sunday. Beginning Tarot starts. We only do this once a year, where I teach a 5-week series of Beginning Tarot. It's 2 hours every Sunday, 12 noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern time, and 8 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time in Europe. So you can even take it even if you're in Europe. We'll be doing that
But the
October
first 2 weeks, it's going to be at 7 p.m. in
7
Europe.
p.m.
And then we
Europe.
have a time change. So
Yeah, and then Central Europe time is an hour later. I mean, there's all Greenwich Mean Time, 7 p.m. So we hope that you'll join us for that. This is a wonderful opportunity. It only comes once a year. It's a live workshop where you get to practice with other students. This is how you become a tarot reader. I've taken people from stone cold beginners to having professional businesses through this tarot course of beginning, advanced, and professional. And I hope you'll join me. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I look forward to seeing the ones that have signed up. If you haven't signed up, go ahead and check it out. You can go to LosAngelesTarotReader.com, or you can go to this link, or you can go to Parlor of Wonders and look at workshops, and you'll find it there as well. And I think that is all the announcements. If you're in the workshop, we have our New Moon workshop is tomorrow night. It's going to be for the Black Cat of Protection candle spell. So if you're in that, don't forget about that. And if you want to get in on the spell service, you have until tomorrow to get in on that Black Cat of Protection for the Libra new moon. That spell service is going to take place on Wednesday at the new moon. I think that's everything.
that's it.
All right.